At Old Plain Road Baptist Church, we want to give special recognition and honor to our World War II veterans. You will witness a military ceremony that is seldom seen by the general public. This is a military decoration ceremony that is normally performed only at military installations. I would ask that you hold all applause until the ceremony is completed. Captain David Pearson, who served in the United States Army as field artillery officer and helicopter pilot, will conduct this special presentation.
Good morning. Military decoration ceremonies are performed on military installations to honor members of the armed forces for distinguished service, meritorious service, or heroism. Before we begin this formal military decoration ceremony to honor World War II veterans, I will make the following comments about World War II. The war was the most destructive war in history. World War II ended on September 2nd, 1945, when General of the Army Douglas MacArthur accepted the unconditional surrender by the Emperor of Japan on board the battleship Missouri in Tokyo Bay. This war had taken the lives of 55 million people worldwide, including 6 million Jews who perished in Nazi death camps. Of the 16 million Americans who served in World War II, there are less than 500,000 living today. A very sobering statistic reflects that World War II veterans are dying at the rate of 300 each day. Before the World War II veterans are introduced, I would share this comment. The majority of all World War II veterans are past 90 years of age. As young men, they set aside their dreams and ambitions to defend our country. 16 million individuals served in World War II, and because of this large number, it was impossible for them to receive their decorations at a formal military ceremony when they were discharged from military service. One particular decoration was the World War II Victory Medal that was never formally awarded to those who served on the battlefields of World War II, due to the fact that the medal was approved by the Secretary of War in 1946, the year following the end of World War II. The World War II Victory Medal in its presentation case contains a military uniform ribbon, a lapel pin, and the medal. The cover of the case has a gold band positioned to the left, and on the lower right, inscribed in gold lettering, are the words, United States of America. The World War II Victory Medal is 36 millimeters in diameter. On the obverse is a figure of liberation standing full length with head turned to Dexter, looking to the dawn of a new day, right foot resting on a war god's helmet. This mirrors the final victory expressed in the Bible in Hebrews chapter 10, verse 13, when Christ shall make all his enemies his footstool. Liberation is holding the hilt of a broken sword in the right hand and a broken blade in the left hand. The inscription, World War II, horizontally placed immediately below the center. On the reverse are the inscriptions, freedom from fear and want, and freedom of speech and religion, separated by a palm branch, all within a circle composed of the words, United States of America, 1941 to 1945. The medal is suspended by a ring from a silk ribbon. The standard military medal is cast in bronze. I would make a special note today that the widow of a World War II veteran has provided the funds to have the World War II Victory Medal for this ceremony plated in 18-karat gold. The Military Honor Guard will position for the ceremony. Lance Corporal David Baird, Combat Engineer, United States Marine Corps, retired. Sergeant First Class Sammy White, Infantry and Transportation, United States Army, retired. Senior Chief Petty Officer Tracy Townsend, Aviation Ordnance Man, United States Navy, retired. Senior Chief Petty Officer Dennis Patterson, Aviation Ordnance Man, United States Navy, retired. Master Sergeant Richard Harris, photolithographer, United States Marine Corps, retired. The following individuals will forward position the medals for this ceremony. Master Gunnery Sergeant Carl Wells, Aviation Maintenance Chief, United States Marine Corps, retired. Petty Officer First Class Ike Turner, Aviation Structural Mechanic, United States Navy, retired. The World War II veterans who will be presented the World War II Victory Medal are Carl C. McGinley, United States Navy. James E. Williams, United States Marine Corps. Anyone in the audience who is now serving in the Armed Forces of the United States or in the National Guard or Armed Forces Reserves, or if you are a veteran, it is proper protocol that you stand during this ceremony. You may stand when the command "attention to orders" is given, and remain standing until the ceremony is completed. Giving the command "attention to orders" will be Chief Petty Officer Bruce Tyson, Aviation Fire Control Technician, United States Navy, retired.
Attention to orders. I will now read the citation which accompanies the World War II Victory Medal. Your service to your country during World War II embraces the highest in attributes of duty, honor, and country. You answered the call to arms to defeat an enemy who sought to destroy the sacred principles on which our nation was founded. Those principles that all mankind shall have this right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Your honorable and faithful service resulted in the destruction of the armed forces of the Third Reich of Nazi Germany and the Empire of Japan, and assured the future generation of our nation the gift of freedom. Your service during World War II reflects the highest credit upon you as an individual and the armed forces of the United States.
Two symbols common only to World War II, the ruptured duck and Kilroy. The original ruptured duck was a cloth insignia depicting an eagle inside a wreath. It was worn on the military uniforms above the right breast pocket. It was issued to all members of the armed forces in World War II who received an honorable discharge. It was also allowed them to continue to wear their uniform for up to 30 days after they were discharged, since there was a civilian clothing shortage at that time. This showed the military police that they were in transit and not absent without leave, AWOL. The soldiers, sailors, and Marines thought the eagle looked more like a duck, and because it meant they were going home, the popular saying was, they took off for home like a ruptured duck. Hence the nickname, the ruptured duck. And the other symbol, as you see, was Kilroy. There was one person who led or participated in every combat, training, or occupation operation during World War II. This person could always be depended on. GIs began to consider him the super GI. He was the one who always got there first, or who was always there when the American soldiers left. His name was Kilroy. The little cartoon character, bald head, peering over a fence that hid everything except his eyes and his long U-shaped nose, and sometimes his fingers gripping the top of the fence, and his proclamation, Kilroy was here. An outside bathroom was built for President Harry Truman, Communist Party General Secretary Joseph Stalin, and Prime Minister Winston Churchill at the Potsdam Conference following the end of World War II. The first person to use the restroom was Stalin. When he emerged from the bathroom, he was overheard to ask his aide in Russian, "Who is Kilroy?"